The sun was setting over our village, casting long shadows on the ground. It was a peaceful evening, and we were preparing for the night. Little did we know, this was the last time we would see our homes. My name is Little Deer, and I belong to the Cherokee tribe. Our village was nestled in the fertile lands of Georgia. We had lived here for generations, hunting, farming, and raising our families. Life was simple and good. One day, everything changed. Soldiers arrived, their faces hard and unforgiving. They carried with them a message from the President of the United States. We were to leave our homes and travel to a new land far away. They called it Indian Territory, but to us, it was an unknown and terrifying place. Fear gripped our hearts as we listened to their orders. We had heard rumors of this forced removal, but we had hoped it would not come to pass. Now, it was our reality. The soldiers gave us little time to gather our belongings. They wanted us to leave immediately. My family and I hurried to pack what little we could carry. My mother, father, and younger brother Running Fox were all scared, but we tried to stay strong for each other. The soldiers watched us closely, their rifles ready. As night fell, we were forced to leave our village. The soldiers herded us like cattle, shouting and pushing us along. The air was thick with the cries of children and the sobs of the elderly. We walked in silence, too afraid to speak. Days turned into weeks as we trudged along the trail of tears. Our numbers dwindled as many fell victim to disease, hunger, and the harsh conditions. The soldiers showed no mercy, urging us forward with brutal efficiency. We walked in silence, the weight of our grief heavy on our shoulders. My family stayed close together, drawing strength from each other. But the journey took its toll. My father's health declined rapidly, his once strong frame now frail and weak. My mother tried to care for him, but there was little she could do. One evening, as we set up camp, my father collapsed. We gathered around him, desperation in our hearts. He looked up at us, his eyes filled with pain and sorrow. "Take care of each other," he whispered. "Stay strong. Remember who you are." With those final words, he closed his eyes and passed away. We wept for him, our tears mingling with the dust of the trail. There was no time to mourn properly. The soldiers forced us to move on, leaving my father's body behind, a painful reminder of our loss. The days grew colder as we moved into winter. The nights were freezing, and we had little to protect us from the biting wind. Our clothes were tattered, and our bodies were weak from hunger. Many of us fell ill, and death became a constant companion. Running Fox grew weaker with each passing day. His once bright eyes were now dull, and he struggled to keep up with the relentless pace. I tried to carry him, but I was too weak myself. We stumbled along, driven by sheer willpower. Join our tribe and hit subscribe. Don't miss out on the wisdom and epic Native American stories. Now let's continue. One night, as we huddled together for warmth, Running Fox looked up at me with tear-filled eyes. "Little Deer, I can't go on," he said, his voice barely a whisper. I held him close, my heart breaking. "You have to stay strong, Running Fox. We have to survive." But deep down, I knew he was right. The trail was killing us slowly, and there was little hope left. I prayed for strength, for a miracle, but the cold, indifferent night offered no comfort. The next morning, Running Fox couldn't get up. He lay there, his small body shivering. My mother and I tried to help him, but it was clear he was slipping away. We held him close, whispering words of love and comfort. As the sun rose, Running Fox took his last breath. My heart shattered, and I felt a deep, unbearable pain. We had lost so much, and now my little brother was gone too. The soldiers gave us no time to grieve. We had to keep moving. Our suffering was not unique. The Trail of Tears was part of a larger, tragic story that affected many tribes. The Indian Removal Act of 1830, signed by President Andrew Jackson, mandated the forced relocation of Native American tribes from their ancestral lands to territories west of the Mississippi River. The Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, and Seminole were known as the 5 civilized tribes. They had adopted many European American customs, built schools, and formed governments. Despite their efforts to live peacefully, they were seen as obstacles to American expansion. The Treaty of New Echota, signed in 1835, sealed the fate of the Cherokee people. A small faction of the tribe agreed to the treaty without the consent of the majority, ceding all Cherokee land east of the Mississippi River in exchange for land in the west and monetary compensation. The treaty was ratified by the U.S. Senate in 1836, and the forced removal began in 1838. The Choctaw were the first to be removed, facing a harrowing journey that set the precedent for the others. The Chickasaw negotiated for better conditions, but still endured significant suffering. The Creek faced brutal conditions, with many dying along the way. The Seminole resisted fiercely, leading to the Second Seminole War, but were eventually forced to leave as well. We were not alone in our suffering. Thousands of Native Americans from different tribes walked the same treacherous path. The forced marches were marked by disease, exposure, and starvation. Families were torn apart, communities destroyed. The journey was deadly, with estimates of the death toll ranging from 4,000 to 15,000. It was a dark chapter in American history, one that left deep scars on our people. When we finally reached the Indian Territory, it was a strange and unfamiliar land. The government had promised us this place, but it was far from the fertile lands we had left behind. The soil was harsh, and the climate was unforgiving. But we were determined to make it our home. We set to work immediately, building shelters and planting crops. The land was not kind, but we had learned to be resilient. With each day, we grew stronger and more determined. The memories of the trail fueled our efforts, reminding us of what we had overcome. My mother and I worked side by side, rebuilding our lives from the ground up. We joined forces with other families, pooling our resources and skills. The sense of community was strong, and we drew strength from each other. One day, as we were working in the fields, I saw a familiar face. It was White Eagle, a friend from our village who we thought had perished on the trail. He had survived, and his presence filled us with joy and hope. "Little dear, it's good to see you," he said, embracing me warmly. "We have all suffered, but together we will rebuild." White Eagle had brought news of other survivors and the efforts being made to create a new community. He had been working tirelessly to help others and bring us together. His leadership and determination inspired us all. With White Eagle's guidance, we built a council of leaders to oversee the development of our new home. We created schools, community centers, and places of worship. We honored our traditions and taught our children about our history and culture. As I looked around at our thriving village, I felt a deep sense of pride. We had turned a place of sorrow into a place of hope. We had honored the memory of those we had lost by building a new life, a testament to our endurance and spirit. My mother, now older but still strong, stood beside me. "We did it, little dear," she said, her eyes filled with tears. "We survived," I nodded, holding her hand. "Yes, we did, and we will continue to survive, for ourselves and for those who are no longer with us." The Trail of Tears had taken so much from us, but it had also given us a sense of purpose and unity. We were survivors, and we had built a new life from the ashes of our old one. And in this new land, we found hope, strength, and a future.